My brothers and sisters, good morning, beloved. I greet you in the name of hope, in the name of strength, and in the name of that quiet whisper that comes to us just before the morning breaks. The whisper that tells us, today, something beautiful is coming. You see, we live in a world that rushes and races. From Monday's alarm to Sunday's rest, we spin and spin like autumn leaves in the wind. We run to meet the needs of others. We try to outpace our worries. We labor to hold together the broken pieces of our past, our present, and sometimes our faith. But what if I told you that one word, yes, one single word, spoken in the hush of a still morning, could shift the weight of the entire week off your shoulders? What if, before the sun finds its throne in the sky, you could find strength, not in your bank account, not in your to-do list, not in anyone else's hands, but in the sacred power of a word spoken in faith? I have lived long enough, walked through valleys dark and quiet enough, to know this truth deep in my bones. Words are not just letters strung together. Words are seeds, and when spoken in the morning, in that sacred time between sleep and stride, those seeds fall into the soil of your soul and take root. Let me ask you, what word are you planting each morning? Is it worry? Is it fear? Is it regret from yesterday? Is it dread for what you cannot see? Or is it faith? Is it gratitude? Is it joy? Is it God? I trust you. My beloved, let me speak gently and clearly to you now, as a grandmother would whisper to her grandchild beneath the old pecan tree, because there is something sacred in the understanding of this truth, something ancient, something golden and too precious to be hurried, and it is this: words are seeds. Every syllable, every whisper, every declaration we speak into the morning light is not just air leaving our lungs. It is a planting, a sowing into the deep soil of the soul and the unseen world. I have lived long enough to know that life does not simply happen to us. It is often responding to the language we use. The tongue is a tiny thing, but it steers the whole ship. A word is a flame. It can warm you or burn you. It can nourish you or choke you. And when we rise in the morning, groggy-eyed and soul-weary, we are standing in a holy place, because the first word we speak can shape everything that follows. There are people who wake up with curses in their mouth. They wake up with the weight of yesterday's disappointments pressing on their chest. They roll over, groan, and speak of what went wrong, who hurt them, what's still unpaid, and what might never be. And baby, let me tell you, those words don't disappear into the walls. No, they float and settle. They shape how we move, how we see the world, how we handle our children, our work, our peace. But then there are those who have learned, perhaps from struggle or from sacred wisdom, that the first word of the morning is a seed, and if you plant a strong seed, you get a strong harvest. I remember a morning when I woke up to the sound of my own tears. The world felt too heavy. The silence in the house was too loud. My bones ached with memory. And yet, even in that moment, I opened my mouth and whispered, "Still I rise." That one word, rise, became my rhythm for the day. It wasn't just a word. It was a lifting, a permission to be tall in my spirit, even if I was bent in my body. That word broke the chains of despair before I even stood up. Beloved, I want you to know that your word carries your authority. You may not feel powerful. You may not sit in high places or be called by grand titles. But heaven hears you. The angels lean close when you speak with faith. The universe bends its ear when you rise in the morning and say, "Today, I choose joy." That kind of word will not fall to the ground empty. It will rise up, bloom in your footsteps, and greet you again when night falls with a kiss of peace. Too many of us are careless with our words, especially the ones we give ourselves. We say, "I'm tired. I'm useless. Nothing ever changes." And baby, when you speak like that, you are sowing weeds into your own garden. You are inviting the crows to feast on your hope. But when you shift your word, just one word, you shift your whole harvest. You say instead, I'm learning, I'm becoming. I'm blessed in ways I don't even see yet. The difference between a heavy week and a holy one may be one word spoken in the right spirit. You don't need to speak 1,000 things, just one true thing. Let it be soaked in belief. Let it be wrapped in gratitude. Let it be loud enough for your fear to hear and quiet enough for your heart to hold. And oh, when you start planting good seed, you will see how different the road becomes. That person who once bothered you, you'll find yourself responding with grace. That task you dreaded, you'll meet it with unexpected strength. That sorrow that once clung to your back like a shadow, you'll feel it loosen as your soul straightens up. I've seen people speak life into their week and go from surviving to soaring. I've seen women whisper peace and find it even in a storm. I've seen men say strength and discover that the mountain they feared was already beginning to move. You don't have to be loud to be powerful. A whisper can shake the heavens when it's filled with trust. So, say your word in the morning. Before the coffee, before the news, before the children call your name, before the world reminds you of your limits, declare your truth. Say, today is holy. Say, I am loved. Say, my steps are ordered. Say, I will not be shaken. And if all you can say is one word, then say it. Let it be light. Let it be healing. Let it be a reminder that you are not walking alone. You are the soil, and your word is the seed. Speak with care. Speak with courage. Speak as one who knows that the week ahead may be long, but that the power of one good word can carry you from Monday to Sunday with grace in your heart and light in your eyes.
Yes, baby.
Just one word. Speak it like you mean it. Speak it like you've already won. And watch the world bloom beneath your feet. Oh, child, let me lean in close to your spirit today and say something you might have forgotten. You hold the power to speak change. Yes, you. Not your preacher. Not your professor. Not your boss. You, with all your cracks and questions, your scars and sacred fire. You have the authority to shift the very ground you walk on with your words. Now, this is not just a sweet thought. It's not a polite notion dressed in Sunday morning clothes. No, my dear, this is a truth carved in the bones of creation. Before the mountains stood, before the oceans roared, before breath filled Adam's lungs, there was a word, and it was spoken. The world itself did not begin with a bang, but with a voice. Let there be. That's how it started. Power did not rest in the hands of kings, but in the mouth of the Creator. And don't you know, that same divine breath dances in your lungs right now. It trembles behind your teeth. That same sacred echo lives in you, waiting to be released every time you dare to believe in the authority you carry. You do not have to wait for someone to lay hands on you. You don't need a microphone. You don't need a robe or a pulpit or a certificate. You need faith, and you need your voice. You see, too many of us have been trained to be quiet. We've been told that we're too young, too old, too poor, too broken, too woman, too black, too loud, too soft, too much or not enough. And so we sit still while storms rage, while blessings pass us by, while fear strangles our potential. We sit on our hands and close our mouths, waiting for someone else to come save us. But baby, salvation is already inside of you. The rescue has already arrived, and it's clothed in your own language. When you speak life, life responds. When you declare healing, the body listens. When you say peace, your mind begins to unclench. When you say, I am worthy, something in the heavens nods and sends angels running to confirm it. You don't need permission to prophesy peace over your home. You don't need approval to say, I will not live in fear. All you need is to believe that your voice is more than sound. It is a sacred instrument. I have seen women whisper freedom into kitchens filled with tension. I have watched men speak dignity into their days, even while the world tried to strip them of it. I have heard old folks bless their bodies with gratitude even when the bones ached with years. That's power. That's not ego. That's not performance. That's truth wrapped in courage. And don't let anyone tell you that your situation has to stay the same. Just because you've been down doesn't mean you have to stay down. Just because the door was closed yesterday doesn't mean it won't open today. And if it doesn't open, child, you have the power to build a door with your word. You can say, I am not what happened to me. You can say, this sadness is not my home. You can say, I am still becoming. You can say, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. And when you say these things, not just out of routine, but out of conviction, oh, the shift that begins! Mountains move, not because you pushed them with your hands, but because you commanded them with faith. Waters part, not with force, but with the authority of your declaration. But here's the catch. You must speak even when you don't feel like it. Especially then. You must speak even when your knees are shaking and your hope is dim. That's when your voice is most powerful, when it rises up despite the weight. Because your word is not a feather, it is a hammer. Your word is not a wish. It is a weapon. Your word is not small. It is holy. And baby, let me tell you, the enemy doesn't fear your job, your car, or your status. But he trembles when you open your mouth and speak truth. When you declare light in the darkness, when you shout joy in the valley, when you whisper, God is still with me. In the silence. That's when chains start breaking and ground starts shaking. You see, you were never meant to be voiceless. You were never meant to simply endure. You were born to co-create with the divine, to speak like your Father speaks, to call forth hope like it's already here, to name blessings before they arrive, to walk into a Monday and say, this week will serve me. So don't wait. Don't wait for perfect. Don't wait for applause. Don't wait for the conditions to be right. Speak now. Speak like your life depends on it, because sometimes it does. Wake up each morning and claim your portion. Bless your body. Command your peace. Welcome your favor. Dismiss your doubt. Speak over your children. Speak over your relationships. Speak over your dreams. Speak over your past. Yes, even that. And remind it that it does not define you. You are not powerless. You are not forgotten. You are not too late. You are a divine being with a trembling fire in your throat. Use it. Speak. Change the atmosphere. Change your home. Change your day. Change your life. Because the world does not only change through war or wealth. It changes every time one soul rises up, finds her voice, and dares to declare, I am more than this moment. I am a child of the Most High. And I have the power to speak change. And my Lord, what a glorious thing that is. Come closer now, child. Let me tell you about the hush before the dawn, the stillness that wraps itself around your shoulders before the world wakes. There is something sacred in that silence, something older than time and wiser than man. It is the divine pause between yesterday and today. And it is in that holy hush that the morning finds you. The morning is not just another part of the day, my dear. It is the beginning. It is the first brushstroke on the canvas of what will become your life, your choices, your moments. The morning is a whisper from God that says, you get to try again. No matter what you did or didn't do yesterday, the morning always returns, faithful, forgiving, and full of new mercies. And so I say this to you with the tenderness of a mother and the fire of a prophet. The morning time is sacred. It is more than coffee and alarm clocks and news headlines. It is a meeting place between the divine and the dust that we are. Before the phone rings, before the traffic starts, before the emails and errands, you have a chance to align yourself with something deeper. You have a moment to say, speak, Lord. I am listening. You see, how you begin your morning will determine how you carry your day. If you rush into the world without pausing to center your soul, the noise will grab you, twist you, and drag you through chaos. But if you begin your day in peace, you carry that peace into every room you enter, into every decision you make, into every word you speak. I have walked through many seasons of life, some easy, most hard, and I have learned that when I start my day with stillness, with breath, with intention, the day bends in my favor. That doesn't mean everything goes right. No, the storm may still come. But when your soul is anchored in the sacredness of morning, even the storm cannot shake you. Morning is when the veil is still thin, when heaven leans in and whispers sweet truths that you might miss in the midday noise. Morning is when your spirit is most tender, most open to being shaped by truth rather than fear. You must not let it pass without offering it something. Your gratitude, your hope, your surrender, your song. Don't you know that the birds rise in praise before they search for food? Don't you know that the flowers open their petals toward the light without question, without doubt? They do not need a reason to believe that morning is holy. They simply respond to it. Why should we be any different? When your eyes first open, before your feet touch the floor, you have the power to choose the posture of your heart. Will it be fear or faith? Will it be worry or worship? Will it be, not this again? Or will it be, thank you, Lord, for another chance? Your body may be tired. Your bank account may be low. Your heart may be heavy. But your soul still has a voice. Let it speak in the morning. Let it declare, I'm still here, and I will walk this day with grace. You don't need a cathedral. You don't need a choir. You don't need to be a preacher or a poet. You just need to be present, fully present with yourself and with God in that quiet hour before the world demands everything from you. Let me tell you something tender and true. The enemy does not wait until noon to start his work. He comes in the morning with anxiety. He slips into your thoughts with doubt. He knocks on your spirit with old fears dressed in new clothes. That is why your morning must be your altar. An altar where you lay down yesterday's burdens. An altar where you pick up new strength. An altar where you anoint your mind with truth before lies try to take root. When you wake up, say something that honors the holiness of the hour. Say something that breathes life into your bones. Say, I am not alone. Say, this day is blessed. Say, I walk in power and peace. Make your morning a sanctuary. Light a candle. Breathe deep. Stretch your soul. Open your Bible. Write your prayers. Or just sit and be still. You don't have to do much. You just have to be open, willing, ready. Because God speaks in the morning.
Yes, child.
He speaks. Not always with thunder or visions, but in the stillness, in the quiet joy of birdsong, in the warmth of light spilling across the floor, in the soft knowing that you are loved, that you are seen, that you are here on purpose. You may not hear him at first. You may feel nothing, but keep showing up. Keep honoring the morning, because in time your soul will start to rise with the sun. Your heart will begin to hum with truth. And your day will no longer rule you. You will rule it. Morning time is not just a part of your routine. It is the doorway to your power. The place where you remember who you are. The space where you realign with who you're becoming. So don't waste it, my love. Don't rush past it. Don't trade it for screens and stress. Make it holy. Make it yours. Make it the launching ground for a life filled with depth and direction. Let the morning speak to your weary places. Let it bless you before the world even knows your name. Let it carry your soul into a day already kissed by purpose. Because when the morning is sacred, the day becomes sacred. And when your days are sacred, your life becomes a living testimony to the beauty of rising with intention, grace, and truth. And child, if ever you forget, let the dawn remind you. It rises faithfully, so can you. Child, let me tell you this plain and true, the words you choose are the food your soul eats. They are the water your heart drinks. And every morning, before your feet even grace the ground, you are given a platter, words to feast upon, to nourish your being, to guide your path. But the question is, what are you feeding yourself? Too often, we begin our day with the words that wound us. We wake up already burdened, already bent by the weight of yesterday's failures and tomorrow's worries. We let fear speak first. We let regret have the opening line. We let the voices of the world crawl into our bed before we've even risen. And oh, child, those words, those heavy, hollow words, become chains. You see, the mouth is not just a gateway for sound. It is a doorway for truth or torment. The tongue may be small, but it is sharp, and when turned inward, it can cut deeper than any blade. That's why, sweet soul, you must be careful. Careful with what you say to yourself, careful with the word you let greet the rising sun. There are people, good people, kind-hearted people, who rise each day and say, I'm not enough. They mutter, this won't get better. They sigh, nothing ever changes for me. And those words, spoken softly in the shadows, go out into the air and begin their work. They shape the hours. They cloud the thoughts. They dim the vision. They wrap themselves around the soul until hope can no longer breathe freely. But hear me now, you are not meant to live beneath the weight of such speech. You were not created to be buried under your own voice. No, baby. You were meant to rise. You were meant to speak like a child of the Most High. You were meant to clothe yourself in declarations that lift your chin and stir your spirit. Choose words that uplift, not weigh down. When the sun stretches across the sky and taps you gently on the shoulder, don't let despair speak first. Let faith open her mouth. Let joy say hello. Let gratitude do the talking. Say, I am here. I am whole. I am beloved. I am not my mistakes. I am walking into something better. Let those words be your robe. Let them be your morning meal. Because whatever you feed your mind will soon grow roots in your heart. And what grows in the heart, that becomes your life. I have seen sorrow so deep it threatened to drown the soul. I have known pain so sharp it stole the breath right from a woman's chest. And yet, I've also seen the power of a word, just one, spoken in courage, shift the atmosphere. I've seen a mother on the edge of breakdown whisper to herself, I am strong, and then get up and carry her family with grace. I've seen an elder battling illness say, I am still grateful, and suddenly their eyes lit with peace. I've seen the weary worker, the overlooked soul, the broken-hearted poet say, I still have purpose, and walk forward with fire in their bones, because the words that uplift do not deny reality. They transcend it. They lift us above the flood. They remind us that even though the night was long, morning has come. And morning, my darling, is a chance to rewrite the script. So let me ask you, what are you saying about yourself, about your life, about your week ahead? Are you repeating what the world has labeled you? Too much, too little, too late. Or are you declaring what heaven already knows? That you are worthy. You are equipped, you are growing, you are needed, and your best days are not behind you but ahead. Speak like someone who believes in resurrection. Speak like someone who's been through hell but made it back carrying lessons. Speak like someone who refuses to let lies shape their legacy. And when doubt creeps in, and it will, don't let it sit at your table. Tell it you do not belong here. You are not welcome in my morning. You are not allowed to shape my joy. Instead, invite truth to take its place. Truth that says, I am more than what I see. Truth that whispers, I have survived things that once tried to bury me. Truth that declares, my scars are not signs of defeat. They are proof that I heal. Every word you speak is either a chain or a key. Either it locks you down or sets you free. Choose the key. Choose light. Choose peace. Choose faith that walks barefoot through the valley and still smiles. Choose laughter, even when the bills aren't paid. Choose. I will try again, even when you failed yesterday. Because when you choose uplifting words, you are not just changing your mood. You are changing your posture, your perception, your possibilities. You are creating space for miracles. You are inviting grace to linger. You are allowing the day to rise to meet your energy. You don't have to lie. This isn't about pretending all is well. This is about choosing not to give your pain the first or last word. You can be honest and still hopeful. You can be tired and still faithful. You can be unsure and still speak words that carry power. So, my sweet one, tomorrow when the sky turns pale blue and the birds begin their song, do not let old habits lead you. Do not let weary thoughts command your breath. Instead, rise slowly, breathe deeply, and say, "This is the day the Lord has made. I will walk in truth. I will live in purpose. I will not be buried by doubt. I will bless this day with my own words." Let your mouth become a river of light. Let your language lift your spine, steady your heart, calm your nerves. Let your words be a home for your healing, because the weak will listen to how you start the day. So start it with strength. Start it with softness. Start it with something beautiful. Choose words that uplift, and they will carry you not just through the morning, but through the whole of your life. Now listen, child. Sit with me a moment while I tell you something so old it sounds new, so simple it sounds divine. You may not need a full sermon today. You may not need a long poem or a mighty speech, just a whisper, a truth, a reminder carved from the edge of wisdom. Your voice carries heaven's echo. Yes, your voice. Not just the one you use when you're speaking to crowds or praying aloud. I'm talking about the voice inside you. The quiet one that dreams in the dark, that sings through sorrow, that rises even when you're unsure how to take another step. That voice, beloved, is sacred. That voice was crafted by the hands of God, dipped in truth and anointed with power. That voice does not need permission to matter. It matters because it was born of the divine. You see, there's something holy that happens when you dare to speak with faith, when you open your lips in the still of the morning and speak a word over your life, over your week, over your family. Heaven listens. The skies pause. The angels lean in. Because when a child of God opens their mouth and speaks what they believe, they're not just echoing their own thoughts. They're reaching back to the beginning of time and pulling on the voice of creation itself. Let me tell you now, child, in a world so loud with lies, your truth is thunder. In a world so dark with doubt, your belief is light. Every time you speak with conviction, you are declaring war against fear. You are announcing to the atmosphere that you know who you are and whose you are. And oh, what a mighty declaration that is. You don't have to be eloquent. You don't have to sound like a preacher or a poet. You don't need a perfect vocabulary. What you need is sincerity. What you need is belief. What you need is to remember that your voice is not empty. It is filled. Filled with every prayer your grandmother ever whispered. Filled with the courage of your ancestors. Filled with the breath of God Himself when you say, "I will not give up." You shake the walls of defeat. When you say, "Peace is mine," chaos takes a step back. When you say, "God walks with me today," heaven walks beside you too. It is not about volume, no. It's about vibration. It's about intention. The spirit behind the word makes it powerful. You may only whisper, but if your whisper is wrapped in faith, it will travel farther than any shout. And don't you believe the lie that your voice has lost its worth because of pain, because of mistakes, because of silence you've carried too long. Baby, if you still have breath, then you still have power. There is no expiration date on your divine right to speak life. Let your voice speak things as though they are, even when they are not. That is what faith sounds like. Let your voice call the blessing forth from the shadows. Let your voice summon the strength you don't yet feel. Let your voice be the trumpet that wakes your spirit when it has slept too long in sorrow. Your voice can lift the fallen. Your voice can bless your home. Your voice can remind your children who they are. Your voice can pray healing into sick rooms. Your voice can chase demons from corners no one sees. Because your voice is not ordinary. Your voice is not just yours. It's connected to something bigger, something older, something eternal. Heaven echoes when you speak with faith, because heaven recognizes its own sound. You know, sometimes I sit with myself in the quiet of the morning, before the world makes its demands. I place my hand on my chest and speak things no one else will ever hear. I say, today I choose light. Today I walk with grace. Today I remember that I am not alone, and something inside me stirs. Not loud, not wild, but deep and holy. You can do the same, you know. You don't need to be in a church. You don't need an audience. You don't even need to speak it out loud. But you do need to say it. Say it in your heart. Say it in your mind. Say it through your tears. Say it until it becomes real. Let your voice speak to your fear and remind it that love is greater. Let your voice speak to your doubt and tell it that truth is stronger. Let your voice speak to your sadness and gently tell it, you may sit with me, but you may not lead me. This world will try to drown out your voice. It will fill your ears with noise and nonsense. It will tempt you to stay silent, to stay small, to stay invisible. But child, I came to tell you today, don't you let the world hush you. Don't you let sorrow silence you. Don't you let anyone convince you that your voice doesn't matter. It matters. It carries. It echoes. And somewhere in the invisible, beyond what the eyes can see, your words are forming waves. They are shaping atmospheres. They are planting seeds in places you haven't even walked into yet. You are not powerless. You are not voiceless. You are a speaker of truth. You are a child of the Creator. You are the continuation of a sound that began before time began. The sound of life, of love, of promise. So let your voice rise like the sun. Let it be soft if it needs to be. But never let it be silent. Let it be bold when boldness is required. Let it be gentle when gentleness is holy. Let it be real. Always real. Because the echo of heaven responds to truth, not perfection. Your voice carries